Okay, folks, I'm going to try this again. The connection was really terrible. And it might have been because Wendy was on her computer. It's just really weird how it affects my live streaming when she is on her computer. So if I disappear, that means the connection's unstable. So at the moment, I saw there was a few people in there. Like I said, current temperature here now is 19.5. It's 4:41 p.m. Pacific time, and it's just over 53% humidity. A really nice sunny day. There's not even a cloud in the sky. A little bit of a breeze. I can see those 100-foot eucalyptus trees moving up there right now, but there's nothing in here. You can see the palms behind me. We really don't get a lot of wind in here. It's very, very sheltered. The wind goes over top of us. Okay, so we're on this ridge, but it goes down. And across from us is Galliano Island, the highest point on Galliano Island. So it deflects any wind from the east. They call it the Galliano. I call it the Galliano Bluffs. But I hope everybody's doing well out there. Like I said, I was over on the Big Island today and saw some nice cordylines. I took a picture of some. I didn't shoot a video of them. I was actually in my Parks truck. I was picking up my Parks truck. They put a new transmission in it. And I saw some huge Formium tenax. And of course, the usual. There's lots of palms. Once you get into Victoria, I had to go to Victoria. And I drove down the island. The ferry terminal's not that far from where we live here. It's actually pretty close. And it's about a 10-minute drive from, there's 3 ferry terminals on Salt Spring Island. So it's only about a 20-minute ferry ride across to Crofton, and then not that far to get onto the highway. And then you got to go through some mountains, which are through the mountains. And once you get into Victoria, that's where you start to see the palm trees. And actually, there's even a few in Duncan too. It's not too bad. So anyway, hope everybody out there is having good weather. We had drizzle here yesterday, and 3.9 millimeters of precipitation was enough to keep the dust down and make it so we didn't have to water the garden today, which is really nice. And I hope we do get some more rain. I see highs of 22 coming, which is fine. And maybe there's a chance of showers at night, which will be really good for the garden and the island. Okay, we got somebody in there right now. Tropical BDX. Rain off and on in Portland today. Tomorrow the dry season starts. Yeah. Well, once the high pressure kicks in, that's the thing. It sticks around. I mean, it can be a few months before you actually get measurable precipitation. So, and that's what always worries me here. It's the summer months I just do freak out about, because we are in an island, and forest fire is a great risk living here on an island surrounded by conifers and very flammable trees. And then you get tourists coming, and a lot of those tourists are not very smart, and they can throw a cigarette out the window. And all it takes is one cigarette butt that's not snuffed out to start a forest fire and burn up Salt Spring Island. So the dry season does actually make me a little bit paranoid here. So I wish we would get more rain in the summer months, and we just don't. That's just the way it is here. Yeah, well, Portland's the same. You're the Pacific Northwest. Summers are very dry in Portland. Summers are very hot in Portland. People in the East don't realize it does get very in areas of the Pacific Northwest. It warms up nicely in Portland because you are inland from the ocean. You are in the Columbia River, but it does heat up nicely all the way down I-5. You get down to Roseburg, Medford, Eugene, Salem, get down into Ashland. It bakes down there. It really does. High 80s this week. Yeah, see, you're going to be a lot hotter than us. We're going to be lower 70s to mid 70s. You guys are much hotter than us in the summer months, and that's good. Good to put the growth on those heat-loving plants, and good for those albizia trees. I know when I was in Portland, I saw a lot of albizia julibrizin. I've stayed in Portland before. I've been actually Portland quite a few times, and I stayed in Oregon City. You know where Oregon City is? That's where we picked up our greenhouses. When I used to work at a big nursery here years ago, we went down to Oregon City, but we did actually stay overnight in Portland, and then drove down to Oregon City to pick up our big commercial greenhouses. And then we went to the Rhinelander restaurant to eat some good German food. It was just awesome. So I don't think the Rhinelander's there anymore. I don't know how long you've been in Portland. That was in 1990, 95. I think that was 95, something like that. 2 green and brown, Oregon City, a couple of minutes from my house. Oregon City. Oh, cool. Yeah, well, that's where they make the commercial greenhouses we picked up back in 1995 in Oregon City. We went to the manufacturing company that made the big hoop houses. And we picked up 2 greenhouses, loaded them up on our dump truck, and cruised back. 4 years in Portland. I am from Toronto. Well, I much rather live in Portland than Toronto, I'll tell you that. The winters in Portland are way better than Toronto, and the summers in Portland are way better in Toronto because you're not getting that high humidity in Portland. At least I don't think you get high humidity. I don't remember it humid in Portland. The first time I went to Portland would have been 1981. And I stopped there on the way down to Southern California. So we were driving. I was 17. Me and my buddy drove down Southern California. We drove down into the Baja, and that was my first taste of Portland. And I really liked Portland. I thought it was a really nice city. No humidity in summer. Yeah, you're like, hey Ryan, aloha. How's it going there, bud? Yeah, no humidity. You're the same as us. Like I say, humidity here right now today is 53.8 degrees. 53.8 percent humidity. I want to say degrees. These are good Triscuits. It's 19.5 here right now in the shade. And remember, always take your temperatures from the shade, okay? Don't put your thermometer in the sun. Yeah, I can put a thermometer in the sun right now and tell you it's 35 degrees Celsius. It's not. It's 19.5 degrees Celsius. And that's my remote sensor in Stevenson screens. We have 2 Stevenson screens, but we have more remote sensors up sitting around the property in different locations, but they're all in the shade. It's much easier to handle. So how did you like the winters and summers in Toronto? Give me the dirt. I know a lot of people from Ontario that move here to our coast, and so I know all about Toronto. Okay, and there's a lot of transplants here. I know the winter and the summers are extremely hot and muggy. Summer is better. Yes. Yeah. Well, I know Toronto, they get, like I say, they say you step out of the shower and you got to go back into the shower because you're sweating. I don't like that. I don't know how anybody actually likes that. I know some people say they like it. I don't know how you can like to be wet all the time. It's not a good feeling. My daughter-in-law, excuse me, I'm eating a Triscuit, another one, that moved up here from southern Texas. She said it was awful, the heat down there. My son lived in southern Texas, and he said it was absolutely the worst heat he's ever experienced. It was really hot and humid, and he couldn't wait to get back up here after living down there. So went down there. He got married down there. He lived down there, and then he came back up here. But he did not like the heat and humidity. He says it's a really bad combination. Down in Tennessee, I saw a banana tree at this hotel, and the welcome center was some. Yo, that's cool. That's nice that people are using them in different locations like that. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going? Yeah. Um, Especially at the where did you say, at the Kentucky Welcome Center? Oh, cool. Well, you know what? That's good to have them at a welcome center or a travel information center or chamber of commerce, because a lot of people go in there to get maps and things, especially tourists. So, many years ago, 1996, I planted several palm trees at our chamber of commerce slash tourist information bureau right in the center of town. Those palm trees are quite big now. I got one right in the front of the building where the bus stops. I planted it as a 1 gallon. It's big. It's probably as tall as a building now. And then I got 3 at the back with a eucalyptus tree, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They are palm trees with fronds from top to bottom, and as tall as the building as well. And the eucalyptus trees up over the building. So a lot of people, when they're there, they see the palm because the bus stops right in front, and tourists, when they go into the building, they see the palm trees. And I've seen people taking pictures of it, which is kind of nice. But that's a good place to put them, in front of the tourist information bureau. It's a high exposure area. Remember, when planting palm trees in public places, put them in high exposure areas so people can see them. From the palms, from one palm stream to another. Yeah. Well, I was out shooting a few videos around the garden. I got home from work. I was off island today. I was on the big island all day. And I got home from work and I said, you know what? Just going to relax today. So I came home, I worked out, and walked around the garden, shot a few videos. And then I said to Wendy, I'm going to do a live stream. But the first live stream I started kind of crapped out on me because she was on her computer. So she's off her computer and now it seems to be working. Good connection. Layla Riley's in there too. Hello, Layla. That's a song. Layla is a song by, oh, oh, who is the lead singer of Cream? Oh my God, why is my mind a blank right now? Eric Clapton. Oh my God, thanks, Wendy. You're a savior. What you eating over there? Oh my God, she's got olive tampana. Bring it over here. Hi, Natasha. Aloha. Are almost finished with our tropical style garden. I will send you some pictures soon. Sweet to Wendy. Nice. That is awesome. Look at that. She brought me some tampanade. Did you make that? Mmm, that is good. Sorry, folks. I'm eating in front of you. So, you know what? When I'm off island, I treat myself. So I went through the drive-through at A&W, and I picked up a teen burger, and I picked up a cayenne or Cajun. I guess it was Cajun chicken burger. Oh my God, it's so good. Really, really good. If you like a little bit of heat, it's yummy. The VA palm tree dude, how's it going? In South Carolina are having a cool spell. 63 low here. 63 for a low. That's perfect. That's a perfect low. Right now we have 19.5. It is currently, well, when I started this live stream, it was 19.5. It could be a little higher. Who knows right now? Greetings from Martin. Hello, Natasha in the Netherlands, right? You're in the Netherlands. Sweet. Good to have you in there. And I know you guys are about 9 hours ahead of us. So, current time here on Salt Spring Island, 4:53 p.m. Pacific time, 19.5 degrees Celsius, and 53.8% humidity. So it is a very beautiful, I guess, early evening here on Salt Spring Island. There's a very slight breeze. We have a lot of big eucalyptus trees, and you don't really see the breeze much. See the palms moving behind me? There they go. There, the breeze picked up a little bit, and that feels so nice. So that breeze comes off the ocean, and it's kind of like a natural air conditioner. Yes, in Holland. Thanks, Natasha. Yeah, hope everything's well over there, Palm Tree Dude. 63 is current temperature, low still. Well, you know what? Rain is good. Rain is awesome, man. We had rain yesterday. We had 3.9 millimeters. I worked out in it, not a problem. I didn't even put my rain clothes on. I was mowing one of the parks in town. We had to really work on that park yesterday because I was away. I wrecked my back, so they didn't mow that park for a week. So when I get in there, when I got in that park, the grass was really long. It's a public park, and most of you know I work for the Parks Department. I am a gardener slash maintenance guy for the Parks Department. And so we mowed that park. We weeded it. It looked absolutely beautiful when we were done. Grass is thick. Natasha, also a moment. It is at night about 14 and daytime about 20. That's a good temperature, Natasha. I like it. 22 is absolutely perfect. Palm tree dude. I planted my white bird of paradise. Yes. Yeah. Well, actually, the rain will be very good for that Strelitzia. White bird of paradise are quite nice. I don't think quite as common as the orange bird of paradise. We have an orange bird of paradise, but it's my bad. I like a foliage plant, and it hasn't bloomed for many, many years, and it's growing kind of in more. And that's the problem. If I put it in the sun, it's going to bloom. And I did transplant it to a bigger pot. And when I got it years ago, a friend of mine, his mom gave it to me. It was blooming, and it hasn't bloomed for years. So if I was to put it on this sun deck or on the sun deck down below, it would bloom, but I don't. I have it in this really nice area of the garden under a big Heteromeles arbustifolia tree that I planted there. I grew it from seed years ago. Strange thing about this tree, it came up by mistake. So I grew the seed flat or two of Washingtonia flifera. There was over 1,000 Washingtonia flifera, and the seed I brought in from California, I ordered it, and this funny little tree, little plant came up in the middle of these palms. I go, that is definitely not a palm tree. I go, what is it? Kind of almost looks like arbutus leaves. And later on, I realized it was arbustifolia, Heteromeles arbustifolia, toyon, or California holly, and it blooms every year. It's ready to bloom right now. Ches profanity warming. Tennessee palms is in there. Zach, plants grow fast, especially the bananas. Yes, I'm growing watermelon, Layla, and cucumber, cantaloupe. Sweet. I bet they're going to be sweet. I'm going to come down and eat some of your watermelon with you. I like watermelon. That is awesome. The farm down the road from us grows a lot of watermelon, but it's not ready for summer months. And they have cantaloupe and honeydew melons there too. I have seen palm tree dude. I've seen the people plant orange bird of paradise here, and they will get flowers in summer. Not. Oh wow, beautiful palms. 32C here, 11%. Oh, see, I like that. See, 32C with 11% humidity is actually really nice, which means your winters are very dry too. That's really low. That's desert for sure. Toya on Hollywood, named after it. Really cool. Well, you know what? It came up. It's the only one I have. The trunk on it is about this big now, and it's quite a big. It's a tree. It's growing under the eucalyptus trees. It's absolutely beautiful. Blooms profusely. Keep your bird of paradise pot bound. Oh, okay. I put it in a bigger pot. Tighter the pot. Okay. Ah, maybe that's the problem. Is just me or the big Zeomeyers look like juvenile Washingtonians? Is it just me or do big sable miners? Yeah, I guess they kind of do. Yeah. I don't know. I like Washingtonias. You know what? I like Washingtonias when they're kind of like in the immature stage, when they're like got about 6 or 7 feet of trunk, nice big fat trunk. They don't do too much for me when they got 80-foot trunks on them and they're skinny. I like them when they got the crisscross boots on them. And, even 20-foot tall washies are awesome. But when they get too tall, I don't know. Those are the things that are all over California. I like them when they're a little shorter and stockier. Jonathan, lightning. Whoa. Tropical PDX Toyan was mistaken for holly. Grows all over that area. So Hollywood. Really interesting. Well, it does have serrated, slightly serrated leaves on the edge, but it and the leaves are long. I do have videos of it here on my YouTube channel. It's quite a beautiful tree, and it gets covered with these white flowers that the butterflies and moths really like, and the bees like it too. And then it gets these red berries on it. Boy, lots of comments, and then there are lots of people in there too. Flipper in Palm Springs, California. Wendy's mom had a place in Palm Springs, so Wendy's been there lots. I never have been there, but Wendy's mom had owned a condo in Palm Springs for years, and then she actually sold it several years ago, and then she bought a place down in Phoenix in Sun City, and then she actually sold that about I think about 4 years ago. She sold that, so she's been coming to Maui the last several years with us. A fat Philippa is better. Yeah, I agree. I like Philippa too. They're awesome. I wish they got that tall in the south, palm tree dude. Lightning or hurricane. Oh, no way. Yeah, we don't get much lightning here. It's pretty rare. How do we get some seeds from you? You just have to message me. You can PM me on Facebook, or you can email me, bananajoe@telus.net. Even here on YouTube, you can comment on my YouTube channel. I ship seeds all the time. Every week I ship seeds and palm seedlings. I just want to let you know that. I ship year round, okay? There is a cutoff point for palm seedlings, though. I don't ship palm seedlings, bare root palm seedlings in the winter because there's a risk of freezing during transit. I'm not worried about shipping them around our coast. Anybody that wants them around the coast, I can ship them because it's rare that we get freezing here on the coast, right? And too cold. It's not going to get cold enough to freeze them, but I have shipped them across Canada in the winter. And when they got to their destination, that's happened twice now, they were frozen dead. So I will not ship any more palm trees in the wintertime. Seeds I can do. Thank you. We'll find you on Facebook. Yeah. And yeah, just look up Banana Joe. You'll see me in there. So Martin and I will check in with you next time. Yeah. Okay, Natasha. Always good to see you in there and say hi to Martin. We're heading to bed. Oh, yeah. 2 a.m. Oh, you better get some sleep, Natasha. Yeah. Especially if you got to get up. Have a nice day, too. And yeah, I'll say hi to Wendy for you. Thanks, Natasha. Say hi to Martin. You guys take it easy and stay safe over there. Have a good sleep. Count your palm trees before you go to bed. See, a lot of people like to count sheep before they bag Z's. I count palm trees. Count your palm trees and have a good sleep and have a better day tomorrow. Today it was, Brian, 81, and then it stormed. Temp went down. 80. Oh, 80. Cool. Right on. That's pretty toasty. The winters in Palm Springs sound nice. Well, they are nice. I've been to California. I've been to Southern California in the wintertime. I stayed down there for a couple of weeks when I was 17. And then in the early 2000s, we took the kids to Northern Cal, but we went into coastal California when we were down on the Oregon coast. And then in 2008, in August 2008, we went to Los Angeles and we stayed in Anaheim. And it was way too hot, man. I don't know. I loved it down there. I love all the vegetation and everything, but it was pretty hot when we were down there. And I just remember standing under misters at Universal Studios so you could cool off. We will, Natasha. Okay, Natasha. Yeah, thanks a lot. Pop in anytime. And nice to see you in there and see your comments. And cheers to you in the Netherlands. It's so nice out here right now. I got the patio umbrella up to cast a bit of shade on me, but I'm listening to the bird in the forest. And it's just really nice to hear them in the background It looks like the eucalyptus tree has finished blooming, so no more bees buzzing to the right of me. The tree was absolutely just full of them. I don't know if you saw the video I uploaded this morning of the big eucalyptus nitens in town. That is growing near the jubea that so-called master gardener completely destroyed. So remember, folks, in the wild, palm trees do not shed green fronds. Okay, so if you're new to palm trees, do not cut green fronds off. Okay, they're needed for photosynthesis, which I think you know they they turn into carbohydrates too, right? They need the palm fronds, the green palm fronds produce carbohydrates for the palm's health and growth. So if you cut too many palm fronds off a palm, it I think stresses the palm out, and especially going into winter months, it's going to be worse for it. It's going to weaken your palm. Yeah, the jubea is ruined, not yeah, pruned. It's ruined. It will take. It's terrible. And when I see that lady, I'm going to tear a strip off her, man. I'm really pissed off. I was thinking about that today. I've seen what she's done. There's a beautiful sable rosei in there, and she cut all the fronds off except two of them last year. And I'm surprised it went through the winter as good as it did. I was so worried about it. And then she butchered these other self-seeded trackies, cut all the fronds off them except for one. I heard from the last gardener that left there that this lady claims she's a master gardener. You should see the way she planted the Cornus cusa dogwood. It's above the ground, and it's like mounded up above the ground. It's really weird. Like she healed in a root ball and didn't even bury it. And I'm going to ask her, what's the deal with pruning the palm trees the way she does? Where does she get off on it? I went there several months ago to take pictures and shoot videos of the cordyline trees, and they're gone. She cut those down. Absolutely nut. She's a nutcase. That's all I can say. Did you find out what those Bismarckias were growing? You were growing. I don't know if they are Bismarckias, you know. I'm thinking there's something else. I got my wires crossed on those ones. So there's some other type of palm because I'm looking at Bismarckias and they really don't look like young Bismarckias when I'm seeing other people's young Bismarckias. Tropical, they need the real specialist gardener, not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's a hack. I agree with you. The guys they had there before were awesome. So I planted that jubea there in 2004 with Dr. Bob because it was his jubea. And the gardener that worked there, Randy, was an awesome guy, an amazing gardener. So that jubea we originally planted in 1999, in the spring of 1999, and it grew for many years down in that exotic garden on the beach where the butias grow. And then when he moved, he got an excavator to dig it out, and he moved it to his next location. So then he bought a place at Grace Point several years later. And I said, you better take that with you. And he didn't want to. I said, you have to take it. I don't know. It's too much work. I said, I'll do the work. Don't worry. So I hired a guy, my friend of mine, with a mini excavator and a flat deck truck, and we moved it there and we planted it for him. And he helped us. So it's been there since 2000, and I think it's 2006. Palm tree dude, I know if I own property in the town like that, I would want to maintain it and take the yeah, and take a day and get all the work done in one. Yeah. Oh, it's a big property. Grace Point is huge, right? And in the last several years, they've taken several palms out of there, which is really annoying. I'm trying to think. I've taken three palms out of there. I've taken one with 7 feet of trunk. I've taken two with 10 feet of trunk. And then a 20-footer was just taken out of there several weeks back by a friend of mine. One of the people in there says, we got to get rid of a 20-foot palm because it's growing too close to two other ones. I said, that's the way they look good. My friend planted them like that. I did that consultation, okay? They hired me in 1995 to do that consultation at Grace Point. And, we got rid of all the Mugo pines and pine trees, and we replaced them with palm trees. And, some of the new people that move in there are just not keen on palm trees, I guess. It's crazy. When you're this far north and you have palm trees, you should cherish them and not condemn them. Have 2 plus 10-year-old Tracy. Have 2 10 plus year old female Tracheocarpus and no male pollinate. Any way to pollinate? Well, you know what? It's getting kind of late now because the male pollen is pretty much fallen off the palm trees. So you're going to have to, you know what I would do? I'd plant some more palm trees around them. And you're going to have to wait, though. If they're young palm trees, it's going to be at least 10, 11 years before they bloom. Duck Killer Clyde. We hate conifers. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't want really too many conifers in our garden because they're all around us. You got to remember, we live in the Pacific Northwest, and there's conifers all over the place. Look at there's 150 foot tall conifers. Those are probably 150 feet tall. Douglas fir, right? We're into broadleaf evergreens, so we plant a lot of BLEs in our garden. I'm trying to think what conifers we have in our garden. We have a Cedrus deodora, and we have a China fir, and we have several monkey trees. I don't think. Oh, and we have Potocarpus. We have Potocarpus, which is a very exotic yew pine from China and Japan. So those ones are the only real conifers we have. Everything else is broadleaf evergreen. And Wendy's got her deciduous Japanese maple she loves. She's got them in the shade garden. Oh, sorry, we have redwoods. We also have California redwoods. We have three redwood trees. We have two coast redwoods. We have the Aptos blue and we have the green one. And I guess they're probably 60 to 70 feet tall. And then we have the Sequoiadendron giganteum. Right, I forgot about that. And they're kind of growing on the edge of the forest. Oh, and we also have the bald cypress, but that's kind of a deciduous conifer. Oh, and we have a metasequoia. We have two metasequoias too. See, now it's coming to me. Is it possible to remove all the fibers from a trachea without uh, remove the fibers from it, but you got to remove the boots too, because the boots are kind of attached to the fibers. So once the fibers come off, the boots come off because most of the palms at Grace Point, a lot of them have no fiber on them, right? And my buddy did those years ago with a box cutter, more than 15 years ago. And there's some really big ones growing in a private garden that are 20 feet tall. And he did those years ago, and they're fully skinned trunks, but there's no boots on them. The only boots on them are probably maybe near the top of the trunk, and they got some fiber up there. Are redwoods native there? No, but they grow here like weeds. They're easy to grow redwoods here. You could reforest with redwoods here. They grow so fast. I planted ours as saplings, and like I say, they're 60 to 70 feet tall. There's some huge ones here. The oldest ones on our island were planted over 100 years ago. I'll tell you where coast redwoods start. They start in Brookings, Oregon. I don't think they start north of that. I started seeing them in Brookings, Oregon, which is just north of the California border. So, and then you get into Crescent City, and there's lots of them there too. Potocarpus, don't count. They're nice. Yeah, we do have Potocarpus, macrophyllum or macrophyllus, and then we have another couple of species of Potocarpus. They're low-growing Potocarpus. Wendy has them growing in the garden. I want to plant a coast redwood. See how it does in part of palm tree, dude. Well, you know what? There's a forest of coast redwoods growing on Maui, but it's on the slopes of Haleakala, up country, right? So I'm guessing they're probably growing at about 5,000 feet elevation at least. You can look it up online, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're higher elevation than that, but there is a redwood forest. There's also a eucalyptus forest growing on the slopes of Haleakala. There are some redwoods. There are some redwoods in Southeast Virginia. Yeah, I've seen the Sequoiadendron giganteum, pictures of those growing there. I don't know how the coast redwood would do there. It gets pretty hot. Sequoiadendron can take more heat and more cold. Coast redwood is more tender to extreme cold, I'll tell you that. Extreme cold would kill a Sequoia sempervirens. Sempervirens, is that how you call it? It's a coast redwood. And I know they are more tender, like I say, to extreme low temperatures. They're fine here. Never been damaged. Um, I would like to plant some more of them in the forest in the back 40 if I can find some at the nursery. I like the blue ones. They're really, really nice. Check out the Aptos blue. Metasequoia would do okay in Virginia. I think it would do good there. Yeah, kind of like a bald cypress. They do well here. There's big metasequoias here. I had them growing in my last Zone 8A8B location, southeast of Vancouver. I planted one. Oh God, it would have been in the mid 1980s, and it's probably a big tree now. I mean, the last pretty good sized tree, so really easy to grow. Joe, I heard a rumor from a friend of mine that there's some Jubea. Whoa, this is going in Roseburg. Oh yeah, there is. I've seen a picture of it. Yeah, there is one, I think, in Roseburg, Oregon. It must still be there. Roseburg is pretty mild, and so is Medford. And in Medford, I think there's actually some Washingtonias growing at a store parking lot. I've seen pictures of them in the past. I wonder if they're still there. I have seen that Jubea, and there's some actually big ones in Seattle too. I think there's one in Seattle with about 18 feet of trunk on it. Yeah. So Jubea is fully hardy here. Here we have bald cypress, loblolly, low blolly pines, shortleaf pines, red cedar. We have red cedar here, native. Longleaf pines. I think the long pines are natural. Yeah, we have the long pine in our garden here. We have a Mexican long needle pine, long long needles on it. And the only pines we have here on Salt Spring Island are shore pine. They grow up on top of the mountain, and that's where you're going to find all the Manzanita, Arctostaphylos, Columbiniana. How do from the right on Cafe de Casual. Hey, I like that. That's a cool name, Cafe de Casual. That sounds very laid back. Nice to have you in there. There are big jubea in Oregon only in private gardens. Yeah, I've seen picture one, and it probably was the one in Roseburg. And there's a lot of them up here on our coast too. Don't you have a property along the coast? And I palm tree dude. No, I think duck killer Clyde is inland. Oh, two at my house. Oh, you are on the coast. Cool. Hey, what part of the coast? I know the Oregon coast well, duck killer Clyde. I love it. I've stayed there many times on the Oregon coast, all the way up and down the coast. Absolutely love it. And you can grow a lot of stuff on the Oregon coast too. That's where you start to see the palms right in Seaside, Oregon. And there's a lot of them in Brookings, or not in Brookings. There's tons in Brookings in Florence too. Yeah, whereabouts on the coast, duck killer Clyde? Curious. I'd love to live on the Oregon coast. If I couldn't live here, it'd be the Oregon coast for sure. Great video, super helpful learning about my Tracheocarpus. Tracy, hey, thank you. You're in Seattle. Where to get male pollen? Yeah, I don't think you're going to get it this year, Tracy. You're going to have to wait. It's now the blooming cycle's pretty much done, right? I know they're done here. They're finished blooming. The male palms have done blooming. The pollen's pretty much off of them, right? So you're going to have to wait till next year in your neck of the woods and message somebody, leave a message on people who love palm trees, or even on my comments here, and maybe somebody can send you some pollen from that area. Please plant a canary and date palm. Probably take off there. Well, on the coast it would. I've tried them here. They're short term. They are short term, right? Because every so often we drop into zone A, and that's zone A and B. That's what kills them. I've seen some 30-foot Tracheocarpus fortuna in Memphis. I wonder. Wow. I didn't realize there was. I know there are palms in Memphis. I didn't know there was any 30-footers there. I know there was definitely palms. I've seen Tracheocarpus palms there over the years. Pictures. Oh, Lincoln City. Cool. Duck Killer Clyde. I know where that is. I've stayed there before. Stayed at the Shiloh Inn in Lincoln City. I got blown away, man. It was really windy. I remember being on the beach and got sandblasted. Got sandblasted there, but I like the outlet stores there. They're really good. It's a great place. Next year is fine. Looking for a male. Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, you'll find one. You'll get some. Well, you know what? And you should plant some more palms. Plant a couple more palms, and hopefully you'll get a male, unless you buy one that's already flowering. Drive down to my house. I'll give you some male flowers. Yeah, they're done too. Do you like yarrow? Do you like yarrow? What's yarrow? Rui Marcus. What is yarrow? Is it a drink or is it a palm? I've never heard of it before. Tennessee palms. You got to shoot some videos of those 30-footers. Yeah, those are about the biggest around here. 30 feet of trunk on our coast, on the Pacific coast here. I don't think I've seen a much taller than 30 feet. Really old one growing in Tofino on the west coast, and it's got 30 feet of trunk on it. It's planted in 1948. I have 300 acres in Willamette Valley and 2.5 acres in Lincoln City. Oh, nice. Yeah, the Willamette Valley is beautiful. That is awesome. And 2.5 acres in Lincoln City. Yeah, we have 2 acres here on Salt Spring. 2 acres is a pretty good chunk too to garden. 300 acres is insane. That's a lot of acreage. Good for farming. It's a palm in Germany. No, I've never heard of it. A yarrow palm. I've never ever heard of it. I know in southern Germany they grow palms. In certain areas of Germany they grow Tracheocarpus, and I've seen jubea palms growing in Germany. Whether they're still alive, I don't know. Palm tree dude. The windmill here is probably about 18 feet of trunk. Sent you photos one time. Oh yeah, right on. That's good. I think our tallest. Hey Wendy, how tall is our tallest palm tree? Is it getting up there? Maybe 18 feet. The one in the front. It's pretty big, isn't it?
18, 20 feet.
18 to 20 feet tall.
That's what you're talking about, to the tip of the.
Yeah, you're talking to the top of the fronds. It's
top of the trunk.
I planted it in. To the top of the trunk might be 18 feet. I planted it in February 1987. It would be a lot taller if it was growing in good soil, but I just stuck it in some native soil, so it just grows on its own. I also got a new one. Cool. Shiloh Inn. I'm like 45 minutes from the Shiloh National Park. Sweet. Shiloh Inn is good. I stayed at the Shiloh. Well, this one guy down here, he's in Oregon. He's got property on the Oregon coast. Lincoln City, and that's where I've stayed before. I've stayed in Lincoln City more than once. Good place for flying kites. They get a lot of. I like Tillamook too. Tillamook's a great place too. I like Tillamook Dairy. Cheese down there is awesome, and the ice cream. We have some 20, 30 footers in my neighborhood. Oh, I bet you do, Tropical PDX. Yeah, there's some tall ones around here, but no 20 or 30 footers in my neighborhood. We don't really have a neighborhood here, do we? Do we have a neighborhood? We don't really have a neighborhood. Yeah, we're on the very north end of the island, and everything is. Yeah, we call it the north end and the south end. So there's no real neighborhoods where we live. Everything's spaced apart. So we're on the north end. There's central and there's south end. There's mid island too. But I think the nearest tallest palm to me would be probably up in Channel Ridge, and it's 25 feet tall. Oh, Baker Road. That's 30 feet tall. And I grew it from seed, believe it or not. It's about 30 feet tall now. Yeah. So that would be Baker Road, and that's about 9 kilometers south of here. We have some 20, 30 footers. I don't like measuring palms by the tip of the front. Oh, yeah. No, we do the trunk. So if you want to go, I know some people like to go by the top of the front. So the trunk on is probably about 18 feet tall. Tropical, I have 20 houses in my, so that's what I consider a neighbor. Yeah. So you're, I guess, in a subdivision. What neighborhood you in? Oh, he's okay. You're talking to Tropical PDX. If you were directly along the shore of the south end of the island, is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's very mild there for sure. Yeah, the south end of Salt Spring Island is very mild, and there's lots of palm trees down there too. But it's a long way from here, and I don't go down there that much. But I have somebody that wants me to carve them a tiki on the very, very south end of our island, and to get there, it's going to be about an hour drive from here. Okay, so I get to the south end of the island. Then I got to go down Musgrave Road, which is another half-hour drive. So it's a half-hour drive at least to the south end of our island, and then another half-hour drive to get where they live. And they want me to carve them a tiki in a tree trunk. And right at the end of that road, there's this tiny little subdivision. It's so remote that most people actually use boats. They have boats there, and they go to Vancouver Island to do their shopping rather than come to Ganges, our main town, which is too far. And there's some nice palm trees growing at the end of that road. They were planted back in 1989 by a friend of mine. Are you growing any banana plants this year? Oh, yeah. Oh, our banana plants are huge. Hey, Wendy. Wendy's going to tell us how tall they are. How tall are our banana plants? Right? How's it going, Krista? Probably 15. Maybe 15 feet. They're probably close to 15 feet tall right now. That they're getting up there. So the leaves are big. The trunks, I guess, are about 9 feet tall. So that's counting the trunk, and then you got leaves on them. So maybe they're 15 feet tall. We have a lot of bananas. We grow bananas every year. I've been growing them continuously since 1989. So I've never not grown bananas since 1989. We've always had them here. Yeah. Musa Baju. Let's just see. Who else we have here? I drive a half hour to get to Richmond due to traffic. Yeah, we don't have to worry about traffic here. It's dead. When I go to work in the morning, I'm lucky if I see a car. I just see deer. You're beating me, my Baju. Yeah, they're up there. I'll do a video of them in the next couple of days. This weekend, I'll go down and do another update video on them. They're pretty good size plants. I think Hal's are going to blow mine away though at the Hal's Saloon down the road. I'm thinking his will probably be 20 feet tall by end of summer. They're getting up there, and there are some pretty good size ones on Salt Spring Island. Yeah, Musa Baju are the best for here. I really don't play around with too many of the other ones. They seem to do best, so I stick with those. And I've experimented with other ones. My house isn't actually in town. It's 5 minutes, Palm Tree Dude Road, and you're there. Cool. So we kind of lit out the suburbs. Yeah. Yeah, our town is actually a village, okay? So it's not even really a town because we're actually unincorporated. We don't have a mayor. There's no mayor on Salt Spring Island. We're known as the Southern Gulf Islands, and we have the Islands Trust. So it's just a group of people that sit on a board, and they try to make rules here and there, but not everybody abides by them. I certainly don't. God, could you imagine if they said no palm trees? But if I ever become the mayor of this place and we become incorporated, I'm going to make it mandatory for everybody to plant palm trees. Do you like that? Everybody's going to have to plant a palm tree in their garden. Then we'll have 10,500 plus palm trees on our island in the gardens. Well, more than that because we have tons of them in our garden. But could you imagine if everybody planted a palm tree in their garden? Wouldn't that be awesome? I think that'd be kind of neat. Joe, how far north on the coast have you seen Washingtonia robusta growing? Vancouver, 49 degrees north latitude, but I'm sure they would grow up in the Sunshine Coast in a sheltered area for the short term, right? But really, long term, I would say the farthest north I've seen them big ones was Brookings, Oregon. I think there are some in Gold Beach, but Brookings, Oregon, I've seen 30 footers, lots of 30-foot Washingtonia robustas. They're all over the place in Brookings, Oregon. Big ones too, big, thick trunks and big crowns on them. So they're long term there. I don't even think they're long term in Seaside, Oregon. Going to get cold there once in a while. It's going to kill them. The biggest traffic jam I have seen over 1 mile long. Whoa, is that right? I saw one today when I was on the Big Island. I saw a motorcycle crash. Well, it was already crashed, and then I was in a traffic jam there, and I just about missed the ferry. Yeah, we don't have any highways here. We have the Fulford Ganges Highway, they call it, but it's not really a highway. Top speed there is 80 kilometers an hour, so that's about 50, something like that. I grow Rocky. I grow banana plants here in Kentucky, the Bluegrass State, but the fruit is never that. No, well, you grow Musabaju. Oh yeah, I figured tropical PDX. Yeah, there are there's I've seen big CIDPs in Gold Beach. There's big Phoenix canariensis, so I figured there's washies. Rocky, yeah, you're growing Musabaju, so the fruit is not edible on a Musabaju. Okay, for you people that are just getting into bananas, Musabaju is a Japanese fiber banana. And it is from southern Japan, but I think originally it came from China and was probably introduced there. And Musabaju is grown primarily for making fiber, just like they grow hemp, right? So for making paper and clothes. The fruit is not palatable, okay? It's not an edible fruit. It tastes bland, and so it's not grown for fruit production like dwarf Cavendish. So it's grown for the ornamental beauty of the leaves, and it is a giant rhizotomous herb. It's not a tree, okay? Bananas are not trees, they're giant herbs. I've seen one tall Washingtonia, Southeast North Carolina 3. Oh, I've seen some really tall ones in North Carolina. Gary Haller used to post pictures of them. Once in a while, they get whacked in a cold winter there, but some of the tough ones actually do survive. US 45, top speed is 65, major highway. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I've been down those highways in the States where it's 65. We have highways like that too. Up Island, it's about 125 Ks. Yeah, the speed limit's about 125 Ks. So you can figure that out. 100 Ks is 60 miles an hour. Okay, so you can go pretty fast on the highways up here. And there's nobody on it. When you get north of Parksville, and then you get that stretch that runs up to Campbell River, it's like you're driving on this massive highway, and there's hardly anybody on it. It's just like dead. You might see 2 or 3 cars on it. It's awesome. So you can just book it. I don't think my truck would go that fast anyway. The tall, long-term Washingtonias are everywhere. Are in Charleston. Oh yeah, there's some big ones in South Carolina for sure. Good climate there. Really good climate. I like the palmettos down there. Seaside is no good. No, Seaside is no good for washies. I've seen some nice cordylines there. I've also seen some nice trackies there, but I've never seen a Washingtonia there. And like I say, the only place I've seen them in person is in Brookings, but I know they do exist in Gold Beach. And a matter of fact, I think I've probably seen photos of them in Gold Beach people have posted in the past. I just don't know exactly where they are. There are some big Canariensis off First Avenue in Gold Beach. I stopped and I photographed them one time, and I actually talked to the owner of one of them. And in 1990, when it got 13 or 13.5 degrees Fahrenheit, they totally defoliated, but they regrew their leaves. That was a really bad freeze all up and down the coast. Cordyline can survive into Washington all along. Oh yeah, yeah, we have them here. They're trees here, man. They're blooming in our town right now. There's some really big cordylines here. Trunks this big on them, 20-foot trunks along the beach, right? That's where the biggest cordylines grow, is right along the water. And the biggest ones grow on the west coast of Vancouver Island. They're probably 30 feet tall and multiple branched trees, been there for many, many decades. So Tofino and all along the far west coast is like the Oregon coast. And my buddy over there's got a Phoenix canariensis in his garden, and it looks really good. And as far as I know, it's still growing. We were there last year, and the trip got canceled this year because of, what's going on in the world. They didn't want people visiting there, but he's got a beautiful Phoenix. He's also got a beautiful Brahia edulis in his garden and some big Butias and lots of other cool stuff. He's got a red cordyline too, a big red cordyline. How can I tell my waggy palm is a, you'd have to look at the flowers on it, and you're going to watch one of my videos. how to tell if it's a male or female palm. I have videos on it here, close-up shot of the flower, the inflorescence coming out of the palm. So check out my videos on how to identify male and female trachees by the flowers, and it's quite quite easy to do. The female flowers are more kind of a limey color green, and the male flowers are open more and a little bit more orangey colored. There's some male flowers behind me right there. Sorry, I can't zoom in. They're pretty much dropped all their pollen now, so I'm going to cut. Growing any date palms? Yes, Steve Rogers, we have lots of date palms, but they are in planters. We have a small one in the ground. I grow them from seed, so we have a lot of nice date palms in 15-gallon pots. But you know what? I don't waste my time with date palms because they're not hardy here. They're not a long-term palm. The longest I've seen one in the ground with no protection was at Grace Point, about 10 years. And actually, Dr. Bob had one at his dental office in a half barrel for more than a decade out in the half barrel. And then he moved it to, I think when he took it to Victoria. So it could still be in his property. Never protected it. And it was right by the water. So right by the water is better. Say 30 miles out. If there was an island directly off the Canadian coast at your latitude, do you think it would be? Well, I am one. I'm on an island off the Canadian coast. I am off the coast, and this area of the island's northern zone 9A. I would say if we were a little bit farther out, it would be 9B. Put us another couple hundred miles offshore, and it might be a 9B out there. Maybe 300 miles offshore, it would definitely change everything for sure. And if you go to Tofino, it's a different world out there, okay? Tofino is 230-kilometer drive from here. So I get on the ferry, and then I drive for 3 hours to Tofino. And I think it's 3 hours and 15 minutes. It's at 49 degrees latitude, same latitude as Vancouver. And once you get to the West Coast, you know it's the West Coast. It's open ocean. There's tsunami warning signs everywhere, tsunami routes, just like they have in Hawaii. There's endless sand beaches that run for miles. There's surf shops everywhere. And there's cordyline trees and palm trees and giant Phormium tenax everywhere. There's huge crinodendron trees and giant rhododendrons. And there's rhododendrons growing wild along the side of the roads. It's very different than here. That's the far West Coast. And it gets a lot of rain there. That's why everything grows so good, and it's mild. You're on an island off, and yeah, I am. We're on an island. So you're talking about on the far West Coast. So Clayoquot Island Preserve. Yeah, if Clayoquot Island Preserve is probably more like a solid Zone 9A long term, and that's off the coast of, I think, Tofino or Ucluelet. So I know somebody that's got property out there. How's the road out to Tofino now? Well, they've been working on it. And hopefully they finished it. But no, it's been good. It's actually a really nice road. It wasn't that bad at all. It's a little windy, but it's good. I like it. It's all paved. Can Tracheocarpus fortunei survive root freeze? No, Jason, they cannot. Depends how badly the roots freeze. If they freeze solid, no, it'll kill them. In a pot, palm trees are way less hardy than in the ground. And a lot of people don't realize that. There's a lot of gardeners that do not realize that palm trees in a pot are far less cold hardy. So if you tell me your palm tree survived minus 10 degrees Celsius in a 1-gallon pot, I'm going to say you're full of crap. You know what? I'm not saying you personally, but a gardener. I've seen people post pictures. This is my palm tree, and it survived 10 degrees Fahrenheit in this pot. I think that's absolute crap because I've had many palm trees freeze in pots, and they become palmsicles. Once the roots freeze solid, it's dead. Okay? That's just the way it is. Sorry, folks. That's just the way it is. How long does it take for them to flower? Tracheocarpus palms, about 10 or 11 years, something like that. And then they'll flower on you. So do not let the roots freeze, okay? In our palm nursery here, we have them in 1-gallon pots, and they stay outside year round. But what we do, we mulch those 1-gallon pots with leaves, okay? So we take maple leaves and we mulch all the pots and cover them up. The tops of the plants are fully exposed. Tops of the plants are hardy, but the roots are not that cold hardy. So always remember, if you have a pot sitting out, wrap it in a blanket, put it up against the house, wrap it in bubble wrap, and protect it for the cold snap. Otherwise, you can lose your palm. Remember, the bigger the pot, the safer you are. The longer the freeze is more detrimental to your palm. So a prolonged freeze is going to be a lot worse than a one-night freeze. You have one night of -5, that probably won't do anything. But you have several nights of -5, that's going to do a lot of damage or kill it. Let's stick to imperial units, please. I can't do Celsius. Imperial units. Well, we are Celsius up here, so but I know imperial units pretty good. I know both. I know both temperatures too, right? So minus 12 degrees Celsius is 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So minus 5 degrees Celsius would be about 23 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. The coldest temperature we hit this year was 22.1 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think was around minus 5.3 or something like that. You can figure it out. But anyway, it was 22.1 degrees Fahrenheit here. 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and 0 degrees Fahrenheit is about minus 17.8 degrees Celsius. That's the way it works. Weather. Hi, Joe. Do you have a types of willow tree on your property? Yes, we do. We have native willows here, Salix pacifica, and we also have Australian willow growing in a pot. It stays outside year round, but I planted some Australian willows at the swimming pool there several years ago, and they're getting quite big. So, but there's weeping willows all over. We have corkscrew willows, contorted Salix growing in pots. Problem with willows, they take so much room and they cast so much shade, so that's why we're just keeping them in pots. I am currently trying to adapt myself to be able to switch back and forth. Yeah, I know both. I know both Celsius and Fahrenheit. So you remember when I was a kid in about grade 4 or 5, they switched over to Celsius, which I absolutely hated. But now I know both. But I still, when I go to the lumber store, I use the imperial. I don't buy things in metric. I buy a 2x4, or I buy a 2x6, or a 2x8, or a 2x12. I don't buy metric stuff. You know what I mean? It's all imperial. When I'm driving, it's all in metric. All the signs here are in metric. My temperatures I record in metric, but I know both. Battery is very low. Why is my battery